Dave Clark was very direct, tweeting at Bernie Sanders, Senator Elizabeth Warren. I know the convention or PR wisdom is that this was a bad idea, but what if it works?
What if it works how? And that the union votes, the workers vote against the union?
What if workers feel emboldened, the ones who agree with Amazon and are maybe worried that a union won't represent them well?
That may be true, but I think attacking them is really not the point. I think just making a good case for why Amazon's a good employer without a union would be the thing I would do, and not this ridiculous fighting with some senators who are trying to get their goat. It's one thing to push back, and it's another thing to just act like throw a tantrum kind of thing and act snarky and everything we imagine tech bros to be like, these tweets sounded like. And I have no problem with them making their case. I have no problem with them being aggressive and making an aggressive case. But everything they've done here feels wrong in terms of the aggression, rather than channeling it into making a good argument, as I said, that Amazon's the best place to work. And the same thing with the unions. Whatever Elizabeth Warren or Senator Bernie Sanders, both the senators, say, it really doesn't matter, because they're in the business of creating that kind of political debate going on. And I just thought Amazon engaging in it was wrong. And so did most tech PR people. I got texts all weekend from people saying, what are they doing? It just doesn't make any sense. It was definitely
against the playbook. It strikes me as interesting that the Senate is supposed to be the greatest deliberative body, right, in the history of mankind. But we're giving a couple senators a pass for the way they act on Twitter. But we want to hold Amazon responsible for acting in a particular way, even though we don't know whether they're going to achieve their strategic outcome.
Yeah, but come on. Look, these senators do this all the time. And by the way, this is Elizabeth Warren. She does it all the time. She did it to Facebook and stuff like that. The focus should not be on them for Amazon. It should be on what they can offer workers and make a good argument about it. And this just drags them right down into a debate they don't need to be in. And probably Jeff Bezos said be tougher, and they thought this was tough. And I don't think this is tough. I think this is kind of stupid in some ways. But whatever the king says, you have to do. And even if you execute it badly, you have to do what the king says. I don't know what else to say. I don't think it's smart, and we'll see if the union wins. We'll see if the union wins or if Amazon wins. But I think this. I've also supported a lot of Jeff Bezos' aggressive stuff around the sexting and things like that. But what's really notable here is they never said anything about what former President Trump was saying to them. If you notice, they said nothing. And former President Trump was a whole lot more aggressive, if you want to talk about sort of being astonishingly without decorum towards Amazon. So I find that interesting.
That's a good point, Kara. Good morning, by the way. We haven't heard this kind of aggressive strategy from Amazon in a while, but the fact that we are talking about Twitter beef, the day that an historic union vote closes in Bessemer, Alabama, doesn't that mean that they've sort of already won with this strategy? They have successfully diverted attention away from the labor issues. We talked about this a little bit last week, but I think that's what we should be talking about here. Yes, Amazon pays $15 an hour, but a lot has changed amid the pandemic, Kara. So what do you think? Let's get to the labor issues of this battle. What do you think is going to be the outcome? There's 6,000 workers at this warehouse. Where do you think this vote is going to go?
I don't know at all. I don't know where it's going to happen. I just feel like it should be about, probably on both sides, but mostly on Amazon's side, is to make the case that you don't need a union because we're a really good employer. Instead, again, it was about tweets, whether Jeff Bezos said them or not, and then peeing in bottles. I mean, that's what I got through the weekend. And so I think what's important here is for a lot of these companies that have such a big union forces and where there's union trends going on, is that they've got to really address them in ways that don't feel that it diminishes what these workers want. Because I think no matter what any of these companies do, worker rights are going to be incredibly important going forward. And this is Amazon's big issue, and it's not going away. And I think picking fights with two of the most prominent senators is a waste of their time. I just feel like it gets away from the point of what they need to be doing here.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.